Hey Stoners, welcome to another edition of Sticks and Stones. I'm your host, Brent Elrod, coming to you from the lovely confines here on the patio at the No Shoes Bar and Grill, deep in the heart of the Republic of Texas. And it is a wonderful day outside, kind of what you think of in fall in Texas, not 85 degrees or so, but more like 65 degrees. It's nice and cool at night. Yeah, I really like that. Some of the trees, beautiful colors that rival the ones up north. It's just short-lived and there's not enough of them. But anyway, I have a great show lined up for you today. I am pairing a Perdomo Habano Bourbon Barrel-Aged cigar. For those of you on live stream, there it is. Beautiful stick. I am pairing that with Tullabarton 500 Highland single malt scotch. I think it's going to be a great episode, so right after this we are going to pop the cork, cut the stick, and get to toasting. I want to take a moment to tell you about the wonderful folks over at Pinto Ranch. They are Western wear. They have 2 locations in Houston. They have 1 location in Dallas, and that is where my beautiful toasted palm Stetson comes from. You go to Sticks-n-Stonez.com, Sticksnstonez.com. They are right there on the front page. Nice banner ad running up and down. Just click there, take you over to them. You can have yourself one of these beautiful toasted palm Stetsons that will look great at the beach or the pool or the cigar lounge, wherever you happen to be. All right, now, the Perdomo Habano Barrel Age. This is the last of my Perdomo series. I know I've kind of been on a Perdomo kick for about the last 4 or 5 weeks. This is the last one, so I hope we're going to really go out with a bang. This particular stick is an Epicure 6x54 on the ring gauge. The filler is a blend of Nicaraguan Condega, aged 4 years, Jalapa, aged 5 years, and Esteli, aged 6 years. It's a mild to medium strength cigar, and it is cloaked in a wonderful Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper. Now, visually, it is pretty much flawless. It has a beautiful medium to light brown wrapper on it that kind of has the feeling of like envelopes, not quite grocery bags, but a little bit thinner and a little bit softer than that. Seems like a very delicate leaf. It has pretty much invisible seams, and it's very minimally veined, but the veins that you do see are pretty pronounced. There is, put that up to the camera, there is one spot. It looks like they've patched it, or it has maybe the seam got folded back. That's the only thing I find on it that is in any way a flaw. And it has a very large and beautiful double cap. I'm going to go ahead and take the footband off before we get started. Otherwise, I'll end up forgetting and setting it on fire. We don't want to do that. Now, on the nose, I get kind of a sweetness and some notes of like a really rich, like pipe tobacco, and some raisins, and just a hint of cedar. Let's go ahead and get this cut and test out the cold draw using my C-Car V-Cutter. Another beautiful cut. On the cold draw, it's got a very gentle, easy draw to it. I don't think it's too easy. We'll see how it goes, but it is very easy. It's kind of cedar forward. There is a kind of a muskiness to it that I don't know. It reminds me of like maybe an old wine cellar or maybe a bourbon rickhouse. You know, that old wood. But it's got a richness to it that you can tell alcohol was involved. Of course, this is bourbon barrel aged, so you know, what would you expect? I think that's going to be a good one. Now, Tullibardine is not really all that well known in the United States. They have a very rich history, though. This is a Highland Scotch, as I mentioned, and it has a very long and rich history, Tullibardine, as a location for brewing and distilling. The story kind of begins in the 15th century with King James IV of Scotland. He was on his way to his coronation, and he wanted to stop by and pick up a roadie. And so he stopped by the Tullibardine brewery where they were brewing beer, and he was so taken with the beer that they produced that in 1503 he granted them a charter to be an official brewery, I guess is how you would say it. But in 1947, William Delma Evans, and there's a hyphen in there, Delma Evans, he converted the brewery into a distillery and started producing scotch. And the rest is history. Now, the 500 sherry finish is matured for an undisclosed period of time in first fill bourbon casks before being transferred into 500 liter, hence the name 500, Pedro Jimenez sherry butts for 1 year. A butts is like a barrel. I had to look that up because I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not really sure about that. But then I found out that's just another name for barrel for sherry casks. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's all right. Now, officially, this is a non-age statement whiskey. It is a 100% malted barley. It is 43% alcohol by volume, so 86 proof. So that makes it a little on the lighter side. A lot of the whiskeys that I have used for pairings have been more along the lines of 90 to 95, and I think there's one I've even put up that's right around 120. So this is much gentler than those are. But pop the cork. Let you see it glass if you're watching the live stream. Now, visually, I'll swirl that around a little bit in front of the camera. It is just a rich, deep copper or amber and has really good legs. There's nice cling to the glass. It creates these nice little striations vertically. And I mean, all around, you wouldn't know just by looking at it that it's not one of the more top shelf offerings. But I've had this sherry cask several times, and matter of fact, I had it yesterday if you saw my live stream, and it is really, really good. Anyway, let's move on. Now, on the nose. The nose is very gentle. There's absolutely no alcohol burn at all. There's a little bit of tartness, which kind of gives you that little tickle up in your nose, kind of like you're going to sneeze. But no heavy alcohol on the nose at all. You get some nice fruity notes of like green apple, pear, maybe lemons. That can, might kind of be that little tickle that you get in your nose, and it is sort of like a kind of a vinegary tartness. You get like the oil and vinegar dressing, and it's just kind of got that tart, but it's in your nose. It's not in your palate. I guess that's probably from the sherry cask aging. All right, now on the palate. Really good, really smooth. It's kind of syrupy, and it's got a sweetness to it with uh, maybe some pears and some cherries. Could even be a little bit of lemon zest in there. Again, kind of a little bit of tartness. Not much at all, but just a little. Just enough to let you know it's there. On the finish, I get honey and maybe kind of a maltiness, some vanilla. You know how if you taste something that's just vanilla, it's got that kind of smooth flavor to it. You get that kind of flavor in your mouth after you've swallowed. Uh, and then there is just a touch of spice or uh, maybe even just a tinge of bitterness right after everything has kind of died away. There is no spice on the palate when you first take a drink. There's a little bit right at the very end, just about the time you're ready for another sip. So let's go ahead and light the stick up and try these out together using my Rocky Patel 5-torch Envoy as usual. Copious amounts of smoke coming off of this stick. It's really good. Like I said, those of you that are on live stream, you can see there's quite a bit of smoke coming off of this stick. And on the palate, there's kind of a creaminess and maybe a sweet kind of nuttiness. Some cocoa and vanilla, and there is a very light hint of spice. Sometimes I really try to enunciate my words. I'm raised in the South, and some folks can't always understand me. All right, let's try them together. Oh yeah, those go really well together. The kind of the soft fruitiness of the Scotch is blending very well with the creaminess and the vanilla from the stick. I knew this Scotch would be a pretty good matchup for this stick. Like I said, I've had it before, and I really thought that this would be the stick that it would really go well with. It is a very pliable dram. it can fit with a wide range of cigars. And even, sorry, I bumped the mic, right at a minute later, we're still, smoke is hanging. I love that. It's great. All right, I am going to go ahead and burn this down to the halfway mark, and I will come back and give you an update. All right, folks, it's just me and you. If any of you has ever tried this stick, put some comments. I'd like to see what you think about it. I think it's an excellent stick. I typically don't go with just my personal choice with lighter wrappers. I prefer more of the Maduros. But this is a really, really good stick. It's got a decent burn line. There's some kind of waves in it, but they're gentle waves. They're not really sharp. So could be my lighting, cigar lighting, not lighting. I was really kind of in a hurry to get out here and get set up. I forgot to bring my remote control out for the TV. I was going to watch some football while we were at it. But can't stop now. Already burning. Y'all need to send me some recommendations. What would you like to see paired? A particular cigar, a particular spirit. It doesn't have to be whiskey. I have paired rum. I've paired tequila, port, wine, which this might go pretty well with a really good tawny port. I probably need to get back around to the ports again. I'm not a big wine guy, but I like, I turned my volume up there a little bit. I hope that helps. It really didn't seem like I was high enough. Anyway, but I haven't done, I'm not a real big wine guy, and I like ports, and I like ice wine. Ice wine is nectar of the gods. Yeah, if you like sweet, you'll love ice wine. That's just like liquefied sugar. If you've never heard of it, it's a German thing, but they now make it in Germany, maybe in Austria, Canada, and then I believe there is some that is made in like New Zealand. You're getting way down near the South Pole. The thing about ice wine is you have to let the grapes actually freeze on the vine. It has to get really cold. And once they freeze, then they have to go out, pick them quickly, and press them quickly. It is only sold in half bottles. So you're only going to get maybe 3 or 4 glasses out of it. And it's fairly expensive. A half bottle. Ones I've seen here in the U.S. range from $25 to right at $100. That's, for most folks, a half bottle. That's 50 to 200. Full bottle. So yeah, it can get pricey. But if you love sweet dessert wines, it is worth every single drop. It is delicious. I have 2 bottles in my refrigerator. One of them I bought in Germany in 2009, and I have refused to open it until an event comes along that is worthy enough for me to open that bottle. I should buy more, but I've been focusing so much on whiskeys and rums and tequilas with the show that I just haven't gotten around to getting any more ice wine. I don't know that there is a cigar that would be worthy of an ice wine because it is really sweet and it would be hard for a cigar to keep up. Uh, I don't know. Maybe one of the infused cigars, not the flavored crap that you get at the convenience store, but along the lines of an acid or something like that. But you couldn't do one of the coffees because it's not gonna mix well with the sweet, the grapey sweetness. I mean, like you're adding grape juice to your coffee. Tell me if you like the little live stream thing I do, and if it kind of makes you want to go listen to the rest of the episode, so you can pick up the last half of the cigar. And this cigar is burning, at maybe a little more than a normal pace. A normal cigar take you an hour, maybe an hour 15 in one this size. But like I said, so far I am. There was a couple of this little thing uh, with the wrapper, a little fold. But other than that, this this cigar has performed flawlessly thus far. You got the nice, just little neat wafers of ash stacked up. I'm gonna try and be gentle with it, see how far it'll go. Tell you what, I'm going to keep more of this Tula Barden 500 around. This is really good. It's a really good Scotch. It's a name you haven't really heard much of, and they're very economical. I've got the 12 year, and I won't say the 12 year was maybe somewhere around $50 a bottle. May have been less than that. But I do know they have a 25 year, and I think it's like 169. And I'd like to get a bottle of that and try it because it got really good reviews on Total Wine. I always look at the reviews. I will not buy a spirit that has less than 4 stars and 3.5. No, because I mean, in a lot of these cases with these spirits that you don't really have any experience with, you're getting a bottle and it's a dud. There's a video on YouTube of me pouring a bottle out. I can't even remember the brand name. And I made a video because it's like I'd never done that before. I'd never poured out a bottle, but it was so bad. And at that point, I'm like, I'm going to look at the reviews. I'm going to see what other people thought about it. I'm not even going to broach it if it's getting 3.5 or less. Why? Especially, I mean, if there's 1 or 2 reviews, that's one thing. Those guys just may not have liked it. But if you've got 15 or 20 people and you can't make better than 3.5 stars, there's something a little wrong with your product. You need to tool on it a little bit more. Michelle, we're here. Could take part in all this. Love the way that smoke's just drifting slowly. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and bring this on down to the halfway mark. You will have to catch the podcast this next week when I drop it. This last week, I did terrible. I had it produced and ready to go, but I didn't get it posted till Friday, and that was just completely me forgetting. I even, I watch my stats to see who all's, how many people are listening and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I swore that we had another episode. I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to post it because I was working on the what I say in the description and everything, and then life came along and I was busy doing things like posting commercials for fanatics.com. Hey, if you want some World Series t-shirts or hats, you can go to any of my social media, and I have a link to a t-shirt and to a hat that are World Series champions, Texas Rangers 2023. And you click the link, it takes you directly to that page on Fanatics, and you can buy it. Uh, you know, Dallas really hasn't had a whole lot to cheer about in sports here recently, so this was a big deal. So definitely go and pick up some Ranger stuff, or just shop around and, they're not your team still. But anyway, all right, keep your sticks dry, stones cold. Have a great day.